goodness. There's a contender. Rewald, can he get there? Makes the spoil. Landed like a cat.
Rewald from the pocket. Oh! He kicks a great goal. Jack Rewald. What about that one?
Oh, Jack Rewald against the boundary line. Dribbles it across the face, through the goals.
That was exquisite skill by Jack Rewald.
That was pretty great. Not Jim Carrey. We had a better array of facial expressions in consecutive performances, though. Jack, welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you get in trouble for not centering it?
I was. Toddy Alton just didn't grab it.
He did. He let it go for you, didn't he?
Yep. Shouldered arms.
What did you think,
How
Jordan?
about him watching that? He was like this.
Oh, That's a
3-2-1 came in and he's like...
there's a rascal winner.
I didn't even know it was on.
Having nutted Daniel Rioli.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. It was pretty good goal by Sausage the week before, so no, I didn't get him.
Very good.
You're playing well, aren't you, Jack?
Yeah, we are. We're playing okay. We probably didn't play as... I probably think on the weekend we didn't play as well as we have in the weeks previous, but we won, and we won pretty well. So
yeah, you did.
I think it's probably our most even performance, though, as a side.
Pressure had 31, the next best was 22. Usually with Richmond, it's 35, Dusty, 33, Cochin.
I think Greg had 31 and Prestia had 22.
Prestia, what did I say?
The other way around, but it's okay.
Sorry, it was Greg 31, the next 22. But the point being, it's usually stars, and the drop away. So the even performance was there for all to see.
Yeah, it was. I think, look, the ability to score from the least amount of possessions, and our possessions have probably been down a little bit this year, trending against what everyone else is doing at the moment. So our ability to score off probably pure plays has been probably a highlight for us, which is good. I think at half time we'd had 30 inside 50s and David Asprey was our leading possession getter with 12. So I think everyone's just doing their role at the moment and it seems to be working.
Big game this week. You're not playing. You'd be really disappointed, as you would have been missing last week and you're missing again. Did you watch the Tigers on the weekend?
I saw the back end of it, yeah. I think it's exactly what Jack said. I mean, where you get improvement, you know what you're going to get from Jack, from the other players. It's where the players that are inconsistent throughout the season, if they hold a level of consistency, the side feeds off that, and that's where you get that real jump. And a lot of sides are over-possessing the ball, whereas I think if you see the stat sheet from the weekend, it's quality instead of quantity, and I think that's probably why they're 4-0.
Was it hard to watch on Saturday when perhaps an older head, a steadying influence in the third quarter was so desperately needed and you're sitting in the stands?
Yeah, I said after the game on the weekend that, funnily enough, I hadn't really felt... I felt a little bit of guilt getting reported and being out, but it was after the weekend where it really hurt, not being out there and not being able to participate and help my teammates in a time where they probably needed some leadership and some guidance. So, yeah, it was hard to watch in the third quarter and try and think that I shouldn't be out there.
Cripps played again on the weekend, didn't he, Jack?
I haven't seen the game, but I saw his name on the stat sheet.
Yeah, he played. So you got reported for 3 weeks, and Cripps played 2 games. Something's got to be done about that, and the Players Association have got to take that up. You on the Players Association executive, Jack?
No, not on.
Not on the leadership group at Richmond. At the AFLPA.
Just one leadership group at a time.
Now we're all going to write about that.
One step at a time.
So this has legitimate billing as match of the round, does it not, Richmond and Melbourne?
I think it's going to be a cracking game. They've had the wood on us at Anzac Day, especially over the last 2 years since we've played it. Look, I think the D's are going better than what people are thinking at the moment, and probably what the results show. Granted, they've got Geordie out, Max Gorn, they'll get Hogan back this week, so that's a real big in for them. So it's going to be a pretty good game, and I reckon it's on a great spectacle as well. Everyone's got Tuesday off. How good's that? Into a great game on Tuesday. So
can I ask you, does Dimmer draw, or what parallel, if any, he draws on Anzac Eve, being an Anzac Eve game and Anzac Day, and you know what Anzac means to Australia?
Yeah, look, I don't think I think you've got to be very careful drawing parallels to the actual game. What I think it is a fantastic teaching point for some of our young kids and our older players on the history of Australian history and the Anzac history as well. So a really good learning curve for them, and let individuals draw what they want out of it for themselves.
What do you draw out of it, Joe?
I think the marquee games like this and Dreamtime are the most special ones. I spoke about Dreamtime last week, how important it was for me to
speak about Anzac Day.
Well, I think for us,
no, for you,
for myself personally too, when you're representing someone, and look, I don't have a family history of people that have represented Australia at war, and New Zealand for that fact as well. So, it's not that there's no connection straight away from that, but the people that you do represent are obviously your friends. So, coming from Tasmania, I've still got mates down there, and I'm sure there's players on both sides of the Melbourne and Richmond side that have represented the Anzacs in the past and been to war from a footy club perspective, but also there's guys there that would have had grandfathers and grandmothers that had served Australia at some point. So, in reflection of that, you're really representing what Australia is really about.
And I think speaking to the diggers who have been there and are still alive, and we had a few out at Hawthorn leading up to this weekend, and they love the round, because it gives them a chance to get out and go to the game and remember back to what it was like. And it would have been hard to be there and fight for your country, but I think they love the fact that we're still honouring these people on such a big occasion.
The AFL this week, I don't know, you would have got it. The AFL sent out a list of all the deceased people who represented football clubs, and life's so busy now. We've just gone off 6 straight days of footy. We've got chat about what's going on in every club, and I was sitting there and I saw this email. So I just started going through all the names of people who died in the Boer War, World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, and I'm thinking to myself, Anzac Day's here. It's here this week. So let's everyone get on board and think. I don't know, I just had that moment.
Yeah.
And you may have had it just then, Jack, I don't know, but I just had this moment of looking at these names.
The reflection pieces, and I think Good Friday was excellent for that, just reflection, and from a personal point of view, it was a really sombre day, just in reflecting, obviously, with the Royal Children's Hospital and that sort of stuff. But we played in Canberra a couple of times and gone on our morning walk right past where all the stuff is in Canberra for the Anzacs, and I've been there on school.
At the museum, the War Museum.
At the War Museum there. So that is just the pure reflection. It draws emotion, and I think recognising stuff like the Good Friday Appeal and Anzac Day through what Australians are, which is sport, and we have a great sporting culture and a sporting history is fantastic. It puts it on a great spectacle.
So your jumper's got the watermark of the poppies.
Yep.
The Melbourne jumper's a beautiful design down the bottom with
Excuse
with
me,
the
Jack.
Anzacs as well.
I'll hold it if you want, so you can talk about it, Jordan.
So that's that's Jack's jumper, number 8 on the back.
Geordie said he was going to rip it, but he's not playing.
And what do you got on there? What are those? You got the poppies.
The poppies watermark.
This is the Melbourne.
So this is the Melbourne one with the diggers on the bottom, and we'll sell these match-worn jumpers, and part of the proceeds will go back to the RSL.
Let me turn this, because I think the back of the jumper is just spectacular.
So that is.
Oh, at the bottom left with the lone soldier there. Yep.
They've become a real, I suppose, feature piece, the jumpers. I mean, Dreamtime's fantastic. Both jumpers are obviously supporting the Anzac Day Appeal, and I'm assuming the Collingwood and Essendon ones were. But I think they're great, aren't they, jumpers? Like I've seen ours for Dreamtime this year, and it's a ripper.
You're very honoured.
I was jealous of the collar that Bob had. We're talking about that old-fashioned jumper with a collar.
Yeah. Ruffy, did you watch the game yesterday?
Yeah, I saw the game. Yeah, watched our reserves and then came back and watched the second half. Yeah, you do feel for them. I think.
Do you feel for Ruffy?
Yeah, they're going through a tough period of time. I mean, I'm just happy that Ruffy's out there. So I'm happy in a sense that he's out there. I feel for him as a leader of the football club, and they're going through such a tough period at the moment, and they've probably never been in this position for a long period of time.
What's the way out?
Yeah, I mean, if you knew that answer, you would be a coach for life, I suppose. But as hard as it is, you've just got to regroup. You've got to see this weekend as a new opportunity, like Fremantle have done. Fremantle got smashed in the first 2 rounds, came out, won the next 2 games, and all of a sudden they're forgotten about.
But they did on the back of youth. And the question at Hawthorn, which it's funny, the debate rages. It's not a debate. The discussion rages about you won 4 flags, and when people say they've got no kids, well, you can't win 4 flags at a time and expect to have really, really talented kids. You've got talented kids, but you know the top end talent.
Yeah.
Isn't this just the nature of football?
I think so, and I think for a long period of time there, we obviously valued performance and we're up.
Which is completely and utterly understandable, isn't it?
I mean, this was inevitable, really, wasn't it? I mean, you come to a period of time where you've been so successful, you haven't got the ability to get early draft picks, so you've got to trade for mature players, which have done really well. So the youth coming through isn't the top end talent that a Melbourne has, that a GWS has. Remember, GWS have got a lot of the talent over the past however many years, so the drafts haven't been that deep. So they need to probably rethink where they're at. I mean, the older players were probably the better players on the weekend. You speak about Hodge, probably best on ground.
He's close to it.
So I think it's now a place where these young kids have to really step up and contribute. Otherwise, they'll just keep going the way they're going.
Right, that's the mechanics of football. If you were looking at Hawthorn, I look at Hawthorn, I don't know what you think, Jack. You can't comment.
Why can't he and I can?
Because he plays for the opposition, and you do, but you were there. I look at Hawthorn and I see a spiritless team. Do you see anything like that? Jack, jump. You can't. Can you talk?
Well, I think I think the positive for them on the weekend is that Box Hill had a win, and they played the Bulldogs, who were last year's premiers in the VFL. So there's certainly got to be some people
That's
to come
fantastic,
in.
Jack. Do you look at a team and look at a spirit level in a team like we do from outside?
I think it's hard to comment on that, but I will say I've been in the position. You probably have never been in the position where you are bottoming out, and it's a really tough place. Footy clubs are tough and obviously it's a win or loss driven environment. It's when you need a character, and our character was Alex Rance, and he had the ability to, no matter what the club was feeling at the time, he had the ability to be just jovial. Now, it's not outward jovial in the public's face, but inward he just had that ability to keep the guys ticking through. And that's really important when you're in a tough place like that.
Spiritless?
When I see a side that's not spiritless, they're not celebrating goals, they're not picking players up off the ground, they're not working for each other. I'm not seeing that at the moment with Hawthorn. And even when Jack Gunston, he's had a lean couple of games when he kicked that goal on the weekend, they celebrated like they had spirit. So I'm not seeing that at the moment.
I want to steal one more minute. We'll steal it from the furnace. Because the deliberate out of bounds we spoke about last night, Shane Kirsten, I want to get your take on this, right? So the umpires have come back today and said this is the correct call because Kirsten hasn't attempted to kick towards goal. There is 3 points the difference. It is late in the last quarter. There is nobody inside the 50, and Shane Kirsten, in my opinion, is trying to kick the winning score. The umpires have determined that he actually kicked along the line cut in the grass and thus was not kicking at the target, but was deliberately kicking the ball down the line of the grass, ignoring the scoreboard in the context of the match.
Only got a minute.
And kicking it deliberately out of bounds.
Get to him.
Do you think he's likely to be kicking a goal?
Wow, that's a lot to sum up in half a second, Jared. It's taken you a good 20. I reckon he was having a shot. That's my opinion.
But what can you do about it, players? Come on, seriously.
But we have an oval ball, which can bounce any direction. So if you kick the ball in a forward motion, it could bounce backwards if it really wanted to, or left or right. So I think the umpires need to be more lenient, to be honest.
Understanding of football.
You've got to take the context of the game into play.
They're led by 3 points. They've just got to move it forward. It's a yardage game
in the cold light of day, they're saying, yep, he wasn't attempting to score.
That's wrong.
I'm sorry, but
I don't think
he was attempting to score.
I think he just got the ball and just kicked it. So
the umpires are trying to go into the head of the footballer.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
You can't do it.
The scoreboard would help. I reckon the scoreboard's a big help. Couple of minutes left in the game, 3 points to difference.
Yeah.
No one inside the 50. I reckon he's trying to score.
I don't know how hungry Kirsten is. I know if he had the ball, you would have been going for goal for sure.
Well, you nearly practice that kick when there's no one in the forward 50. Kick the ball directed at goal, so hopefully it would bounce on and go through for a score.
All right. I took all the time. Jack, Jordan, good luck for the weekend, and we'll see you when you're an active player again next Tuesday. All right, the Rising Star has been named.